Hi, I'm Professor Shanky. Welcome to another tech tutorial. Hi, I want to talk a little bit about networking today. So just what is a network? In very basic terms, a network is when you have two or more computers connected together through either cables or wireless that are able to connect and communicate and transfer data between each other. Perhaps the best example today of a network that most people have heard of is this thing called the Internet. The Internet is really a collection of private and government and public networks that are joined together, creating this web of networks. So that's why we often hear the Internet also referred to as the World Wide Web. Because it's really a web or a collection of a lot of networks that can allow you as a user to connect to your local network and in turn to another network, to as many networks as needed in order to ultimately get to where that web page or web resource is located. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about home networks today. So a home network is what you would have at home if you had some sort of broadband internet service. Now, today, there are still some homes that may not have any network or might have dial-up networking. Generally, those dial-up network users don't have a network because their laptop will connect directly to another network, but within the home, there's no network. What I'm referring to are broadband such as DSL or cable or fiber optic, and generally those people will have a device something like this where the cable company or their internet service provider would bring a line in from their network and connect it to a device on your network such as this that would come in down here, and then you would connect your local network either wirelessly or hardwired. And when we do that, we now have the ability to connect multiple devices such as laptops and tablets and smartphones and desktops and home theater cable boxes, whatever you have at home, to our local network or our home network. And then our local device, which is this, which was a form of a router, and this one is also a switch, that it can allow our home network to talk to other devices on our home network. Now, when you think about it, you might say, well, I'm on the internet, aren't I? Well, no, you're not really on the internet. You're on your home network. Your home devices, anything that's on your local connection, can really talk to each other, and they know about each other, but they don't really know about anything outside of your home network. If they want to talk to something outside their home network, it needs to have this thing called a router, which is going to be the yellow part down here, which connects to your ISP or your internet service provider. And that's where it uses these things, DNS and the default gateways, to route the traffic to where it needs to go. But your home network really only knows about your home networks, but it doesn't know what else is out there. So how does a home network work? So generally, you have to have some sort of switching device. Usually it's a switch. This one has one built in. Here's another smaller old switch that you might see. Now this is the same thing that larger companies have, except for larger companies, they're much bigger. They might have 24, 48, or hundreds of network ports on a switch that are connected together. Now what a switch does is a switch has a little bit of smarts in it. It has its own processor, just like a computer, so it has an embedded computer inside it, and it looks at all the network traffic coming in, so it knows here, port 1, it knows that maybe there's a printer here, and it knows there's a laptop here and a desktop in the third one. And when the desktop says, hey, I have some information for the printer, please print it, the switch knows, okay, I need to take the data coming in from port 3 and push it out port 1 where the printer is located. It helps manage that traffic in between. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't have anything like that. How would I know if I do? You're probably going to have a cable that kind of looks like this. This is just a data cable, and one end of this would be connected to your home router or switch, and then the other end you'd round up behind, and it would go into the back of your computer. So here I just have a laptop motherboard, but it's got a built-in network port, and it would just connect like that. So now with these two connected, so I have my switch and my motherboard, I now have these two connected so they can talk. Now, to create a real network, I need one more device, so maybe I'd plug a printer in here and do the same thing. I'd take a cable, plug it from there, plug it into my printer, and now I have my physical network connected. That's great. You might not always use cables, but cables are generally a little bit faster than the wireless. Now, what is wireless? So most smartphones are wireless. They have little antennas built into it. Most laptops also have antennas built into it. You can also get a device like this. So this is a PCI-based wireless network adapter that would plug into a desktop computer. You can see it's got the bigger antennas here for the longer distances, but it's the same thing. So anything that has antennas, either external like this, my smartphone where it's built in, it will use wireless. The wireless is just a different means of connecting it back to the switch, but it's still the same concept. So once the data gets there, it doesn't matter how it gets there, either over the wires or over the airwaves, it's still going to be the same thing. It's still going to be one network. So any devices that are connected to your home router, so you might also hear this as a gateway or a modem, switch, things like that. In general, technically they're not correct. They are different things. But when we're talking about the home, most people are not computer network engineers. It's okay. Most of us will understand if you talk about your modem at home. We know that you're really talking about your router, and your router might or might not have a built-in switch. All that a router does is connect your network to the internet or another network. All that a switch does is to let devices talk to each other. All that a modem does, it's a modulator demodulator that takes usually analog, like telephone, take that analog signal and convert it to digital. So that's a little bit more techy than you really need to know for now. Just remember, when we talk about our home network, it's generally a router with a built-in switch. That's what most modern things have. So what does a network look like logically? So we talked a little bit about the physical. I'm going to switch over to the whiteboard and let's talk about logical networks. So there are different types of networks. The most common one that we're going to see is what's called a star topology. And with star topology, we have our switch in the middle, and off of the switch I have those ports. Now you remember me showing that switch just a second ago. It had 4, might have more ports on the top, and each of those will have a cable that plugs in, and then maybe I have my TV, and I have a network on my TV, and maybe I have over here I have a computer, and up here I have a printer, and maybe over here I have a DVR or some sort of other entertainment device. So this is a star network, and by star network it's only because everything connects to the switch and then comes back out. So things are indirectly connected to each other because they can only go. So if I want to talk from the PC and stream a video over to my TV, my data travels down the cable, comes to the switch. The switch has its own little processor inside. It knows, okay, TV's on this port, and the traffic comes out and streams to my TV. So I have this virtual connection connecting the two. All right, so let me erase this. So the star network's very typical with this Ethernet and these cables. You're going to find that in a lot of businesses as well as most homes. But the other thing would be a wireless network. And most wireless networks are going to have the same router. They may have switch ports built in. So most likely you'll have your devices that require fast internet. So maybe you'll have your desktop PC connected. But then you're going to have this wireless signal. It creates this cloud of network availability. And any device, say you have a tablet and you have your smartphone, and as long as you're in your house or wherever area you are, plus a little bit outside, this cloud of wireless service will give you access to the internet just like the PC connected would. Now, these are also connected to the same network. So just because I don't have a physical cable connecting my tablet to the router, I can still access data on my PC, because what happens is I have this wireless signal that connects me to the router. The router knows that port 1 has the PC on it, so then it sends my signal to the PC. So now I have my virtual connection between my tablet and my PC. This is still considered a star topology. However, it's star topology with wireless. So I want to map out a couple different types of network topologies that are out there. So a topology just means how are they connected. I'm going to start up here. First one, where I just have two nodes. So I have maybe a PC that are directly connected to each other. Point-to-point is our simplest PC to PC, computer to computer, smartphone to computer. Whenever you're making a direct connection between two devices, that's a point-to-point network. That's perhaps the most simplest. Another type of network you'll see in industry, not quite as much, it's found in manufacturing and when you have to go long distances, is the bus network. And what the bus network says is I have one backbone cable and I connect my PCs into this. And that way all the traffic can follow on this bus, comes up here, goes to this PC might come up here, talk to this PC. So that's a bus network. Again, you don't see that in most homes. Most homes are going to have what's called a star network. Star network is generally described as you have your switch here in the middle, and you might have maybe you have a tablet, you have a smartphone. All these devices that connect in the star network where you have the central switch. This could be wireless, it could be hardwired, but this is our star. So those are the three primary network topologies you're going to find in homes. Again, most homes today are going to have the star. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. I'm Professor Shanky, and I'll see you next time.